So welcome all of you for our webinar. Hello. Hi. What we'll start from here with a small introduction first. Euromersive organizes the webinar with Horizon Europe, thanks to Monsieur Armand Nachef, the PCN contact for France, who put everything in place. And today we'll have a few people from the Commission that will help us to move forward. And I don't know if everybody can hear me, if everyone is okay.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, thank you. Indeed, some small house rules. So if everybody can leave their microphone off. If you have questions or remarks, please put them in the chat box. I have with me some of my colleagues from Euromersive, such as François Bouy and Sergio Ochoa. And we'll also have questions that will be entertained at the Q&A after the presentations. Then, so first the introduction where we'll get to know each other, and then we'll have Mrs. Anne Bajar, who will discuss about the current and future activities in the EU, followed by Mrs. Adelina Dinou, specifically about the call as such, followed by a Q&A, and then afterwards we will go into working groups, as explained in the email, and discuss those working groups results. What I suggest is that we'll start to get to know each other, and it's a small poll with some general questions, just to get to know each other, where you're coming from, so that we can also adopt questions and information towards where you're coming from, if it's more a startup, SME related or whatsoever. And then, of course, what technology are you mainly working on? So in the devices you have or not, and what you're looking for over here. So so most of you are here to gather information, of course, about Horizon EU. Quite a lot that consider or will apply for the funds. Also, quite a lot that have several devices, the classical ones. Good to see that everybody is not just looking for some entertainment, but really here because they are interested. Okay. For the ones that arrived just a moment ago, so you can still file for the small poll to get to know each other. You won't be tracked. It's all anonymous, so we won't bother you with the information we gather over here. It's more for the Commission, so that we can adopt the discussion. I see that some can join the poll normally. Okay, yeah, not all AR devices are in. It's just, yeah, we wanted to put a basic, the classical ones in, the others will be discovered. Okay. Okay, I'm going to close the poll so that we can move on to the next stage. As explained already in the email, you had an overview of the working groups for later on. You can indicate in the next poll that I will leave open the time being, which one you would like to join. And then we will shortly after affect you to the respective groups. But for now, we're going to move ahead with the presentation of Mrs. Bajar.
Hello, everyone. I cannot see you. I cannot really take part to this meeting, unfortunately, because we had some connection problems because the system that is used by the organizers is not compatible with the system from the Commission. So I'm very sorry for that, because it's a bit difficult, to be honest, for me to speak like that without really knowing to whom I speak, and I will not see your questions either. But I will do my best, and I hope that you can still hear me more or less decently. So we are very pleased to be with you tonight. I'm here with my colleague Adelina. So we are both working in DG Connect Unit G2. I'm Deputy Head of Unit, and she's a policy officer specifically in charge of extended reality. And we are going to tell you a couple of words about our vision and strategy for extended reality and the coming goals that are of interest for you all today. So next slide, please. Connect G2 is a unit dealing with different things. So we are not exclusively working on extended reality, but we are also working on interactive technologies as such, and on digital technologies for culture and education. All those things basically fit together because up to now, many applications for extended reality were in the cultural and education domains, even if not limited to that. So this is why historically all those things are together. But this is quite clear that we are really encouraging applications across sectors beyond the domain of culture and education. So we are certainly not limited to that anymore. Our goal is also to support a much wider adoption and to make sure that all the tools, devices, and applications developed and used in Europe are meeting European values. Next slide, please. Extended reality is definitely going mainstream. I think that probably most of you who are attending the meeting today know it. I mean, we have different fields of applications: learning, surgery, leisure, multimedia, design, construction, entertainment, and as I said before, culture, for example, or multimodal interaction. So it's really something that is developing fast. And still, we can see that there is a room for a lot more than what we have for the time being. So everybody talks about it, even more with the COVID-19 crisis, with the climate environment issues. People say, okay, look, I mean, XR might be a solution for many problems. It should come, but still at the end of the day, it's not coming really completely. So next slide, please. So what are the issues that we observe today in our position of strategy thinkers at the European Commission, if I may say, is that XR is gradually moving from hype to reality, but it's really gradual and relatively slow. It's not like suddenly everybody has a VR headset and is using VR every day. There is stress is definitely raised by the COVID-19 crisis, I said, at the climate and environment concern. So this is really a political moment to have XR developed much more. It can create values across multiple sectors in economy and society. We still see the first platforms and rollouts in large companies. We can see an increasing number of applications for immersive experiences, and the technology itself is maturing. It's more capable, comfortable, affordable most of the time. We have better infrastructure and faster networks. So we talk about fiber here, we talk about 5G, and we have improved capturing and authoring tools. Next slide, please. But we still have many challenges. The first one is that anything related to hardware, XR is definitely dominated by non-European corporations. It's not only for XR, but for XR it's crystal clear. The hardware can still be quite expensive if you want a decent headset. There is a lack of bandwidth for XR on the go. There is high expectations for 5G, for example, but still not totally there. There is a lack of widely accepted standards, so interoperability is an issue. There are some copyright constraints if you want to reuse content. There is clearly a lack of skills in the industry. So, I mean, all the industry we talk to tell us that it's very hard to recruit the people with the right background. And we also need some skills which are not exclusively engineering or scientific or IT, meaning, for example, artistic, when you want to create a realistic virtual world and environment. And what are the real market opportunities in Europe? It's also a bit unclear for the time being what exactly could be the killer application. There is also, next slide please, an issue with the social awareness and acceptance. So it's not so much about the acceptance and the awareness, in the sense that people are not necessarily aware of what they can do with XR, and if they use XR, what are issues that they could have. So it's about data privacy, ownership, cybersecurity, legal consequences of immersive experiences, psychological effects, many questions, and many people asking those questions and stopping at asking them, thinking, okay, this is not solved, so I basically don't want to use that yet. And I don't know if I should use it or not, or even if it could be useful for me. Next slide, please. Still, extended reality in Europe is developing steadily, but with potential not yet fully exploited, as I said. The projections for the market worldwide are huge. I mean, it should explode in the coming years. And EU represents roughly 15% of the world market. We are very strong in certain domains, software, middleware, content creation, access to content, and we have many good SMEs, but we are quite weak on the hardware side. The ecosystem is rather fragmented, and there is still an issue of take-up in many places. And then, as I just explained, we have the question of the EU values, the trust, the confidence, and how to exploit data gathered by such systems. Next slide, please. So to meet all those challenges, we have been funding, and we will keep on funding extended reality quite system-centrally. So in Horizon 2020, we had €500,000 spent on immersive technologies, and also some more millions coming from different calls which were clearly related to virtual reality, but not tech as virtual reality. So altogether, it was 120 million euro in the last 2 years of Horizon 2020 that have been spent in many different domains. So they are all listed there, but they are the usual one. I think you all know all the sectors. And we also focused on multi-user and multimodal interactions and authoring tools. All those projects only started 1 year, 2 years ago. So we did not produce results that most you might have heard of. It was called XR for All. It's now finished. And the goal was to be the first seed for an XR community of European actors, investors, and solution providers. In Horizon Europe, which is what is for the moment open, we have quite many calls this year and next year. I mean, all the 2021 calls are closing today. We hope that some of you have maybe applied. So, and we will have 2 calls open next year. I mean, you are going to discuss the XR technology one today, and Adelina, who is going to take care of it, is going to present it in a minute. Please keep in mind that there is also another call about XR learning, so the use of XR for learning, which is not a research and innovation action, but more applied as an innovation action. And the deadlines are the same than the call that you are going to discuss now. The rest that is closing today, while it was partially some research calls, partially some more applied calls. So you will have noticed that we have selected for this work program 3 areas considered as being a priority for applications. It was media, collaborative telepresence, and learning. I mean, those 3 have not been selected just by chance. They are the results of a lot of consultations we had, and this is where we found the most promising applications in the very near future. The call eXtended Technologies is open for any kind of application. Next slide, please. And then there are some links with many political initiatives. I will not go into details. I just wanted to show you that this is not something done in isolation, the research program. It comes with a lot of political push from different sources at European and national level. And it is important to understand that this is part of a much larger picture where basically everything all together will contribute to the development and deployment of XR in Europe for the best. So this concludes my presentation. On the next slide, I thought that I had put our contact details, but I forgot. But anyway, you can easily find it on the web if you Google my name. And that's it. So I'm going to give the phone line to Adelina, who hopefully can connect and talk to you that way as well. I don't know how you plan to manage the questions in this configuration.
Yes, people can ask questions. I suggest you put questions for Mrs. Bajar in the discussion. While we prepare the presentation of Ms. Adelina, we can already answer some questions.
Hello, can I just speak and ask?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So thank you for the presentation. I was just wondering, so basically my company is XR Bootcamp. We are an education provider. So basically we teach virtual reality and augmented reality development for beginners and also for advanced level developers. Is there like a program that you would recommend us to go for, or to basically join a coalition with other partners?
I don't know if Mrs. Bajar, if you heard the question. Okay. Mrs. Bajar is apparently, we lost her, but Monsieur Nachef, can you maybe reply to the question?
Yes, I read the question. So hello, could you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So I can see one question is from could we consider that content creation for XR is out of the scope of the call? I don't know. I cannot answer. I think this is answer for the commission for Mrs. Bajar. There are rumors some calls may be delayed. What I heard, yes, there are some calls that are going to be delayed, but not these ones, not the calls, the topics concerning XR. Thank you. How innovative should product be? New technologies or new approaches mixing tech? I don't understand this question. should project new technology or new approach in mixing tech. I think yes, it will be must. We need to answer to find some use cases very yes, you need to specify the use cases. It means that you need to and then no, I understand. So the approaches is more about the methodology, maybe what you are saying, and technology is the technology. So let us say it's best because the approaches is related to the design is yes. So yes, you need to have good design because we are starting at low TRLs and then yes, we thank you, Mrs. Bajar, if you listen us to this presentation.
Okay, what I suggest is that we first start with the presentation of Mrs. Dinu, and then afterwards, in the meantime, we will gather more questions. Don't worry if you were not able to obtain an answer for now. We will assemble all the questions and ask Mrs. Bajar and Mrs. Dinu afterwards to reply to them so that everybody will receive the questions to all the answers asked in this session. For those that joined later, there's still a poll open for what working group you would like to join after the presentations and the Q&A session. So don't hesitate to file that one. And then I will leave the words to Mrs. Dinu, who will give us a bit more information about this call specifically.
Hello, good afternoon. Do you hear me well?
Yes, we hear you very well. Thank you.
Perfect.
Welcome.
Yeah. So
thank you for being here.
Yeah. Okay, I'm really sorry it's not possible to have me also visually, but that's the way it is. So my name is Adelina Dinu and I'm working in DigiConnect with my colleague Anne that you heard before. And I'm working as a project officer on interactive technologies, policy and program implementation. The topic that I'm going to present you now, can I have the slide please? Is part of the topics on extended reality under Destination 6 of the Horizon Europe program. The Destination 6 that is centered on a human-centered and ethical development of digital and industrial technologies. And it is a research and innovation action calling for extended reality technologies. I will just give you now some very basic information on what research and innovation action is. It refers to activities that aim primarily to establish new knowledge or to explore the feasibility of a new or improved technology, product, process, service, or solution. And this may include basic and applied research, technology development and integration, but also testing, demonstration, and validation of a small-scale prototype in either a laboratory or a simulated environment. The funding rate for RIAs is 100%. Next slide. The expected outcomes of this call include innovative extended reality industrial and societal applications, integrating technologies such as advanced visualization, 3D, AR and VR experiences, or human-machine interaction and cooperation. And these have to focus on well-designed and fully tested scenarios in a real-world environment. Next slide. So, new digital interaction technologies, you all know that they enable us to interact naturally and intuitively with digital information in the physical world. And in this broader context of the digital transformation, we are looking for research and innovation proposals to develop and demonstrate novel XR technologies that combine human-machine interaction and real mixed augmented and virtual environments that aim to augment the capabilities of users and machines, while at the same time guaranteeing the privacy and rights of individuals and companies, and of course ensuring safe, secure, and trustworthy interactions. And I would like to emphasize here that a special attention should be given to including end users and transdisciplinary research. And I give just two examples, like social sciences and humanities, in order to deliver and enhance an uptake of suitable, ethical, and safe solutions. Next slide. I don't see it, but I hope it's the right one now.
What is the name of the slide, please?
It should be the safe one now. Yeah. Proposals will provide well-designed and fully tested scenarios in a real-world environment for enhanced XR experiences. And in order to achieve these things, the proposals need to devise innovative digital interfaces that take advantage of spatial computing, to develop novel multi-user virtual communication and collaboration solutions, to improve the resilience, robustness, accuracy, and semantic understanding of the current mapping and positioning system. Next slide. But also to facilitate the exploitation of 3D data acquisition techniques, enhancing its performance while reducing technology costs and providing efficient and scalable encoding, processing, storage, and rendering means. And last but not least, enable the construction of compelling, context-aware, and embodied experiences by providing solutions for the creation of convincing digital avatars and agents with natural looking and physically realistic behaviors, movements, and expressions. You've heard here a list of things that the proposals need to tackle, but I would like to stress the fact that proposals should cover at least one of the above mentioned points and not necessarily all. Yeah. And now we come to a very important slide, the last one, where you have some very important figures to retain. So the last slide, please. The total indicative budget for this topic is of 19 million euro. And considering the fact that we expect to have a new contribution per project between 5 and 8 million euro, we expect to fund an average 3 project. Yeah. Activities are expected to start at technology readiness level 2. What does it mean? It means that technology concept should be formulated, and at the end of the project, it should arrive to a TRL 4. That means technology validated in a lab, or even further at the TRL 5, that is technology validated in a relevant environment or industrially relevant environment in the case, for example, of key enabling technologies. The call for proposals will open in a little bit over a month on the 23rd of November, and you'll have until the 5th of April 2022, 5 o'clock Brussels time, to submit your proposals. During this period, you have the possibility to address questions also through the funding and tender participant portal, and this is the preferred way, the way that we encourage you to do it. Why? Because while you send your questions there, we are able to put them in FAQs so that everyone has the replies available, because as you know, we have to treat all applicants in the same way, and the meaning that one should not have more information than others here, right, for equal treatment reasons. For generic questions, you can ask me now, but any specific questions that is particularly related to the content part, so not the eligibility part, I encourage you to send it through the portal, because I will not be able to give you a reply that is on very specific content questions. So if you have any general question, and if I hear it and understand it well, I might be able to reply right away. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Digne, for the contribution. I don't know if there are already some questions. I will have a look in the chat. It's a bit of a challenge today in
Yes,
terms of
I know
technology.
it's already, yes,
So I'm sorry for the inconvenience.
There was
Okay.
a first question, and what about smaller budgets?
Yes, because as I said, the contribution is expected between 5 and 8. So this is how we see it between 5 and 8. If you are able to tackle the scope, to achieve the scope of the topic with a lower budget that is feasible, it's not it can be lower or it can be more. This is how we see it between 5 and 8. But of course, a proposal that is asking for a contribution of 4 million will not be discarded.
There is another question. Are universities and labs necessaries in the file?
Well, it's not mandatory, but being a research and innovation action, I see it difficult without having any research institute or any, but it's not mandatory, no. The only mandatory participation is to have the pre-partners from 3 different countries, out of which one should be at least a member state and the other 2 either member states or associated states to the program.
And what is the range of a project? How big is that? 1 million, around 2 million, less? Not important.
It's not important. Us, as I said, we expect to see them between 5 and 8. But if you can achieve this with less, it's not going to be penalized for that.
Yeah, good question. Somebody is asking if the UK can participate.
Not at this moment, because there is no agreement signed. I cannot say that at the moment of the call, because every day the agreements are continuing to the process of association to the program are continuing. So if by the time the call is open, finalized, I mean not necessarily open, the agreement is signed, yes. But at this moment there is no agreement between UK and Horizon Europe program. And if you see in the annexes to the topic, yeah, you have there a link to a guide, and it is updated regularly. For the moment, there is the guide that was published on the 4th of October, and there you have all the situation of each country. Yeah, so you have the countries that have already signed, the countries that is in the situation imminent to sign, and those that are have not even started the negotiation procedure. And it's good that you check that regularly, because the situation today may not be the situation tomorrow.
If the UK partners are still be considered as member states for applications.
Not at this moment.
Okay, not at this moment. Okay, I'm sorry. There was a small delay in the sound. My apologies. I don't know if there is any other question straight away. We'll nevertheless direct all the questions towards both persons. So there was a question: are there preferred applications that could address the call?
Sorry,
are there preferred applications that could address the call?
No.
Okay. I think we can, for this moment, let's see, is there still something in the chat? No. So for now, I think we can conclude the part of the presentations, and we will move on to the next topic. And then we will, of course, provide you with all the information as promised, such as the slides and so on, so that you can move forward and get in touch with each other. In the working groups, of course, just to give you a bit more details, the purpose is that in the working groups, which we will move on to next, that you present yourself shortly to each other, indicate an administrator amongst the people in your working group, and then discuss the 3 questions that I will show you right away. So these are the questions that should be answered or get discussed in the working group, to which we expect a short presentation of the administrator within the group once the working groups are getting back to the main room. What is also interesting within the working groups, not only we're not just small, medium enterprises, startups, but even so, people from academic and research labs, so that the wide consortia can be formed all over Europe to work together on a call and obtain the funds, hopefully, for your specific project. Yes, I will show the working group names straight up. So this is also the one that will remain open. So we have 10 of them. So, and I will...
Maybe Mr. Armand, you could present them again last time?
Yeah,
in the meantime, we need to choose.
In the meantime, I will affect everybody to the chosen work group, and then maybe I leave the word 2 minutes up to Monsieur Armand, and the time that I can...
Mr. Nachef, not Mr. Armand.
Mr. Nachef, my apologies, my apologies.
Yes, yes.
But I leave the word up to you for a moment so that I can affect everybody to the according working groups.
Yes, so it means that in each group you are going to start to answer to 3 or 4 questions, to 3 questions. The first question is, what use case can you think of that fit the domain of your working group? Yes, we are in each working group. For example, regard the working group 9 for regarding the creation of avatars. We are going to see what use cases are very can fit to the creation of avatars. And then the second question, so what is about the state of the art? So what is the state of the art of this avatar? Because the objective is to develop new technologies. And then we have the third question, that what are the main challenges we are going to face? It could be scientific or technological barriers, or it could be acceptance challenges to accept the methodology. Yes, and now when we are going to go in the, as Isabel said, we are going to go in the working group. So yes, it's important to have one person who's going to make a summary of the work that has been done, in order to tell us what in some minutes afterwards about the work of the working group. Okay, so I wish you a very good work in the working group.
To join the working groups, you can go to, there normally should be, how is it called? I'm sorry, trying to do a bit too many at the same time, but you can, like you had the polls, you also have like a group that appeared, and then you can click on join in the respective group. At the same time, I will try to affect you to the respective ones that you asked for. Trying to affect you at the moment as we speak. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. It's taking a bit more time, but I'm putting you in there myself for those who don't see the groups affect. Normally you can choose affecting groups is in progress, so I'm trying my best to go as fast as possible with your name. So just give me 2 minutes. So welcome back to everybody. I suggest that, so we have 6 working groups in total that were affected. If everybody can, I will say the number of the group. I can just provide the administrator for each group with the feedback on the 3 questions that are also here on the screen. We'll start with group number 2, the sensory sensors and triggers, where we had 4 people in the group. Who was the person that was the administrator for that group, or who can give us a feedback about what has been concluded?
I think he's shy. Let's go to group 3.
Okay, so group number 2, there's nobody left? Okay, then let's go to group number 3. There were 11 people in it. Don't know who was the administrator for group number 3, who can provide us with some extra information.
Hi, this is Carolyn Cow. I don't know who else from that group is here, but I can tell you that because the group was so big, we spent a lot of time first introducing ourselves and talking about talking about various products and research needs. We did not actually get to talk to answering the questions, but we did talk about some of the use cases that could be or try to answer the question of use cases, and came to the conclusion that it was either very domain specific or research theme driven. So for example, if we're looking more at the idea of supporting virtual collaboration for teams that are distributed, so that's the research theme driven use case, versus, let's say, for manufacturing, when we're trying to support decision making in terms of, I don't know, line balancing or job rotation, that type of thing. So I'm sorry, but that's what I can report out.
No, I think most important is also that when you were in the working groups, that you got to know each other and that you could create connections, so that you can be put into contact and provide collaboration for potential working together on one of the calls. So
yes.
So that's already a good thing. You were in group number 3, so that was, let's say, the winner of today with the most,
Thank you.
with the most candidates in it. So will be challenging, but nevertheless, we will try to put you into contact with, even though you were in a group that was empty at first, we will try to put you into contact with the people that can help you further for your specific call. So. So then we move. Thank you so much, Caroline, and looking forward to hear more about it. And let's see where you're going from here. So then let's move on to group number 4. Number
Hello?
4, that was Charles Alexandre.
Yeah. Well, I was not very specifically designated as an administrator, but I will take it.
Thank you so much.
That's fine. So basically, we discussed about the cases of application of multisensory experiences, and a few questions arose. Basically. The question was how to get the feedback on these multisensory experiences, and that's not something that is very easy to do in the first place. And when you're having your experience on sites, it can be tricky to get a very qualitative feedback. Because when you are in a lab, you can experiment as much as you want and use some protocols and tools that you may not be able to do to use on the field. So that was a big question. And the other question was about the distribution of this kind of experiences, because as we said, when you're distributing your experience on platforms, on online platforms, the multisensory experience might be a bit weaker whenever you are on LBE. So the question of dissemination was a very big question. We didn't have an answer, unfortunately. And just one last remark was how to get the multisensory experience very impactful. So, well, that's basically the what we had the time to discuss about. Thank you very much.
That's already a lot for the short notice. So if you would have had the answer in such short notice, then we would all be unemployed because all the answers were already there.
Well, thank you very much.
So thank you for your contribution. So let's move ahead to group number 7.
Okay, this is mine.
Okay, Francois, go ahead.
Let's go.
Thank you.
Well, we were 2 researchers and 2 startups with one of the startups working with a big laboratory, company laboratory, more business research. And the thing is, we knew each other, and we were mainly talking about the subjects that are really interesting us about 3D data acquisition techniques, which is holoportation, volumetric capture, and video volumetric capture, low cost, and new techniques, new compressions. And then we decided really concretely to create a mailing list and a group on Discord, and to try to meet each other every two weeks, or I don't know. And that's it. If the other want to tell something else, please.
Sounds very promising. You went straight to action, and
yeah. The thing is, we know each other. Not everybody was knowing, but well, everybody
that helps.
knew somebody that knew the other, and it was a good way to meet and to try to constitute this task force about volumetric capture. And then we hope we'll maybe do this kind of meeting again, and to find new collaborators in Europe interested by this subject.
Perfect, sounds great. And as well, we'll try to find the right people.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so then let's move ahead to the next group, number 9. There were only 2 people in it, but they will probably have the solutions, or maybe knew already each other.
Hi. No, the main one just left. He has to go for the kids.
Okay. Yeah.
and I'm new, so normal. He was doing the talk. So he was explaining a little about what is his company researching, and well, it's an academy, and well, they are seeing how to develop different kind of things for the avatars, say in teletransportation and all these kind of things, and it was great. I'm a startup, and well, we exchange as well details and contact details, because I'm based in UK and I'm interested to collaborate with Europe, and it was very, very, very nice and great. So, but
That's
he
really
has
nice.
all, yes, he had all the answers for your questions.
Wow.
but he left. He has to go for the kids. So, but it was great. Thank you very much. I really,
Thank you.
It was great.
Happy to have you here, and most welcome. For us, for Euromersive, UK remains part of the EU, so don't worry. So.
Okay, thank you.
And then we have group number 10 with 4 people in it.
So I have the pleasure to give a small summary of this group. So we were 4 effectively, with Andres Bourbano, who is connected yet. So we discussed about the problem of creating avatars, or not avatars, but virtual humans or virtual characters that can convey emotions, that can interact with people in different types of applications. So the name of the company of Andres is Convar, and I'm a researcher in area, and so we identified potential application in many kind of application, in each application in which you have an interaction between virtual human and the user. That could be physical interaction, or it could be also behavioral or interaction. So it could be, for example, sports, coaching in industry, ergonomics, entertainment. And technology we are using is either VR with Vives or with HoloLens for AR. And the challenge we have identified is how to transfer or to simulate emotion on characters, especially stylized characters such as animals that may convey emotion like human can do. And how to retarget this style from one type of character to another type of character, the shape and the motion, and also the behavior of this character.
Sounds really interesting.
Thank you.
So, no, really. I also see the message from Francois that we will create within our Discord channel the working groups so that yes, and of course I was just coming back to group number 2, but we will create on Discord our Discord channel. We will create the working groups for each of the groups that we had today, so that you can keep in touch with each other, and we'll provide you also with the link so that hopefully from there you can continue to interact and connect with each other. So and then of course group number 2, please let us know what happened in group number 2.
Do you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
We were 4 people with Imre, Stephanie, Claude Lagos, and myself. Two people who were working on haptic device, and one person were working on the visual feedback with very new technology, vulnerable to SEA. And for the fourth person was Imre, and is working in the field of robotics, interaction with humans, and so on. And I would like just to say that in these topics, in the group 2, sensory sensor, for example, haptics, but not also, there are very hard technological issues that are very important for the future. And this technological issue, whatever they are, even if they are on the side of haptic interaction, or also in other sensory interactions such as visual interaction, are very hardly concerned with the democratization of the technology, and that are 2 breakthroughs that is very important to solve for the future of the entire interaction technology for VR, AR, extended reality, etc. There are a lot of questions that are very difficult questions, technological as well as industrial and social questions that we have to solve for the future of this domain of reality, augmented reality, and extended reality. That's all.
No, indeed, it's I couldn't agree more. There is still a lot of things to discover and to discuss, which unfortunately we can't do in 10-15 minutes, but at least we were able to bring everybody in contact with each other and have some extra information from the Commission. What brings me, in fact, to our conclusion of today. Whereas not only we will, of course, keep you in touch through all our channels. So we would like to thank, first of all, everybody that was here present today, but also thanks to Monsieur Naref, thanks to who we were able to put this in place, and of course Mrs. Bajar and Mrs. Dinou that were so kind to participate. We know now that it is a bit of a challenge to do it through Zoom in regards to the Commission and institutions that have a bit of technical difficulties to join. But in the future, we hope to do better. We also have, you will probably receive a small questionnaire so that you can provide us with your feedback so that we as well, we know how to do better for the future. And we hope to see all of you and even more again. And then we will conclude this session for today. And I would like to thank all of you for being here, contributing, and especially, see you very soon, hopefully in real life, maybe, and otherwise in the virtual world. So thank you so much, and thank you. Have a nice evening, and see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you all.